Hey, hope everybody's keeping safe and well. Rightmove have recently published some data saying that February is the best time to get your property on the market if you're going to find a buyer. Now, I'm a big fan of putting your house on the market when the time is right for you. And in honesty, the data points are fairly insignificant. But if you want to be led by the data, Rightmove say that on average over the last 10 years that they've looked, you've got a 68.9% chance of finding a buyer if you put your house on the market in February. Now, of course, it's not just about putting the house on the market. So there is some top tips in how to make sure you are successful. The first tip they suggest is to get organised and actually be a bit patient. So with the weather that we've got here, yes, we can put blue skies above properties, but blue sky and wet concrete doesn't quite look right. So it's important to just wait a little bit. If it takes a week longer to get those photos booked when we do have a little glimpse of sunshine, that's important. You get one chance to be the first time that people see your property online. Make sure it's done correctly. The second tip that Rightmove give, but I really like, is pick the right agent. There's a lot of choice with estate agents, I understand that. There's ones with high street offices, ones that work by themselves, ones that are just online. The important thing is to remember you're going to have to deal with this person for about the next 6 months. So, A, can you stand to deal with that person? And B, do you know who you're going to be dealing with? If someone's in your living room telling you how great their company is, ask them, well, how much involvement are you going to have? For argument's sake, at Charles David Casson here, if I'm in your living room explaining how we're going to help you, I'm not always going to be the one dealing with the buyer. So I ask my sales team to come out and meet you to make sure you know who you're dealing with at all points. Also, the reasons that you pick the right agent. So is it just because they've given you a high price and a low fee? Anybody can tell you a high price, but they've actually got to get you it. By the same token, if they can't negotiate their own wages, how good are they going to be at negotiating your house price? Really, what you want to be asking them is, what data have you got to show me that you sell this kind of houses, and what results do you get? Because ultimately, what's important is getting as much money in your back pocket as possible, and that's with an agent that actually gets you a price. If an agent gets you £5,000 more, but they charge you £1,000 more, you're still £4,000 better off, if that makes sense. That leads on to Rightmove's tip number 3, which is pricing realistically from the start. Look, we all want as much as possible for our homes, but actually overpricing is generally the best way to undersell your house. Rightmove say that on average it takes 32 days to find a buyer if you don't have to reduce the house, and a whopping 99 days if you do have to reduce. Also, houses that are reduced have a much higher rate of fall through than those that aren't, so that's something to bear in mind. I think nationally, a third of properties on the market have already been reduced. With the amount of properties on the market at a 12-year high, it's important to price realistically to find that buyer. Rightmove then, because they're trying to write a blog, have tips 4, 5 and 6. They all come into one. It's presentation. So decluttering, outside presentation and inside presentation. Now, decluttering is fine to a certain extent, but remember, we are selling a home, so don't go too far. We don't want the property to look sterile. And then externally, we're not asking you to repaint the whole house, but just have a bit of a tidy up, sweep the leaves, etc., etc. And internally, on the day you're getting the photographs especially, just make sure the sides are clear, the floor's clear, and likewise, when people are coming to have a look at the house, make sure they can walk around comfortably without having to watch where they're treading. So, some tips for you there. If you do want to discuss things any further, if you want to know what we're seeing, actually in this exact market rather than just the national statistics, please get in touch. 01245 835 859. Thanks.